Amy Robach gave birth to her youngest daughter, Annalise, on May 10th, 2006. Now, this month, August of 2024, Amy Robach is going to drive that same baby, now 18 years old, to the airport, put that baby on a plane, and send that baby off to college in Europe. And at that point, it's likely Robach will experience what millions of parents experience every single year. Feelings of loneliness, anxiety, depression. It's something called empty nest syndrome. Meanwhile, I'll be back at the house turning Annalise's bedroom into a home office. And with that, welcome everybody to this episode of Amy and TJ. You knew I wasn't going to get that.
You already made me cry.
Oh, come on. That's not how it was supposed to go. No. This is fun. This is renewal. This is exciting. Everybody's getting a new chapter. But tell me this, babe. When was the last time you lived alone?
I only lived alone for 10 months. And it was when I was 22 years old. That is the last time I have lived alone.
Wait, in life, your entire life, you've only lived by yourself for 10 months?
When I went to my first job at WCBD TV2 Action News, I moved into my sad little apartment on Palmetto Boulevard, and I had 10 months until Annalise's dad moved in while we were engaged before we got married.
Wow.
So 10 months.
Okay, so let's talk to everybody about what we're talking about here. That yes, your daughter, who is sitting in studio with us now, Annalise, your baby, 18, is about to go to college. And it's a very exciting time for her, but for you and a bunch of other parents, this is a very difficult time of transition. And even though empty nest syndrome, we were saying, is not a clinical diagnosis.
It's not a medical diagnosis.
Yes, but it's a real thing. A phenomenon, we should call it.
Yes, and I think I have been scared about it for the last year. Yeah, I've been nervous. Letting go.
What are you nervous about? I'm asking that genuinely.
And they do say that women are disproportionately affected than men, but I think...
They say we're not emotionally prepared. We're just... we're not emotionally mature enough to handle it.
I think especially with the trajectory of my life and the one thing that's stayed the same, the one thing that's never wavered is my relationship with my children. Like, I have never, all the ins and outs and ups and downs with life, that love was the one constant in my life that never changed. And so it's not going to change, but the location, the logistics, that is what's going to change. And that is hard to let go of because your purpose, of course, is to live a full and exciting life. But a big part of that purpose when you're a mom is making sure your kids are okay and making sure they have what they need and that they, when you have to let them just go off in the world, you have to let go. And that's hard. And I'll be fine and I'll get there. But I have not been looking forward to this.
Okay. Well, if it's any relief, the statistics show you'll get over it really soon. Because
I laughed because I was looking at that too.
Yes.
They said sometimes it takes a couple weeks.
Yep.
In some cases, it does take a couple months. My mom will tell you it took her about 2 years.
Really?
She really has been honest about that. But hilariously, I saw on the flip side, some parents report feeling relief and then guilt because they feel relieved. But there's a whole new way of operating when you don't have to worry or think about or just be constantly monitoring your children. All of a sudden, you have all this time back mentally, physically, logistically, and it can be great, but it's a big change.
You talked about all the sad stuff, and then you listed all these things that sound like you're looking forward to later.
I'm not. I'm just laughing that I saw some people immediately feel relief.
Some immediately do, and others don't. But look, everybody listening here, if you've listened to at least 2 of these previous episodes, you've heard Annalise's name because we're constantly talking about the girls, Annalise, Ava, and Sabine. They are always here and by our side, but Annalise is actually in the studio with us now, only a couple days away from getting on a plane and starting her college journey. Can I ask before we get into anything, Annalise?
Mm-hmm.
I was watching as your mom is sitting here. You and I are a lot alike. Wait, I don't want to say we're unemotional people, but mom is sitting here crying and we're just taking it in.
We hide it better.
Oh, okay. There it is. That's the way to put it. But what are you thinking and feeling and hearing your mom? I mean, we're 10 seconds into the podcast and she's already crying about you leaving.
I mean, there's been a lot of tears in the
Already.
past few months, in the past few weeks, in the past few days. But I mean, I'm sad, definitely, but I'm not crying as much because I think I'll cry when I get there. I'm excited. I don't know. But I'm sad for you, but I think you'll have a good time.
Well, see, and I don't want to put the guilt of that on you because I was telling you my mom was a wreck when I went to school. And I remember being...
You're still going to be a wreck.
Of course I am. And I'm not hiding it very well at all. I remember being mad at her for not hiding it better because I didn't want to feel guilty about leaving her. And I thought, I'm never going to do that. And here I am doing it. And it's not like anyone's doing it to someone. It's just, it's a sign of love. And it's a part of the process, you know? And for me, I come by it naturally, obviously. Like this was my mom. My grandmother was like this. We love hard, and it's hard to let go.
Annalise, you feel any guilt? Are you, or any way you want to comfort your mom over what we've seen over the past couple of weeks? Do you feel that at all?
I don't feel guilt.
Good.
Per se, but yeah, I don't. But because I'm excited for you. I think this is a new chapter, and I think it will be fun. You have many things to look forward to.
That's very sweet. What are you most excited about?
I'd definitely say new experiences, new friends. I love all my friends, don't get me wrong. But I think just like new characters in my life, and especially in Boulder, hiking, skiing, all the outdoor activities. Living in New York, you don't really do that as much. So that will be exciting. Classes, taking my own classes is very fun. Never done that.
Yeah, you get some autonomy. We were talking, we took the train up, the W train up here, and I was saying to you, this is going to be you've had a few tastes of freedom, but you're going to actually have this moment where you think, oh my God, I can get up when I want to. I can go to bed when I want to. I can stay out as late as I want. I can do and eat and be whatever I want. And that is a really cool, that moment when you're like, I am free. And you don't have a lot of responsibilities, at least financial ones right now.
No, yeah, this is it.
And I'll let you tell everybody, you're going to be enrolled you are enrolled now, University of Colorado at Boulder, but you get to spend your first semester elsewhere. I'll let you tell what's about to happen.
Yeah, I'm going to Spain for my first semester, which will definitely be a culture shock for me. I've spent some time in Europe, so it hopefully won't be too scary. But that's only for September to December, so I won't be there for that long. But that will be a fun little transition to my first semester in college, and then I go to Boulder.
And you said you were feeling a little bit of anxiety because although it's super cool to get to go to Seville or Sevilla, however you want to say it, Spain, you'll basically be going to Boulder in the spring semester, and you were a little concerned that maybe you'll be catching up or there'll be cliques already formed. So there's some anxiety. Like you're always anticipating, what's going to happen next. So have you been able to just focus on right here, right now, today, instead of thinking, oh no, what's going to happen next semester? Don't we all do that and just psych ourselves out sometimes?
I'm trying to focus on the present right now and not the future, because I will technically be a transfer student even though I'm enrolled, but like people will look at me as like, oh, she's coming in, she hated her school first semester, like until I explain it. I don't know. I just feel like, I haven't really been the new kid that many times, but I've seen all the movies, all the TV shows, and it always looks like the worst thing ever.
To be the new girl?
Yes, and I'd rather not be that. But my best friend is going to Boulder, so she'll be there. Lay out the land for me. Yeah.
That's Neve. We talked about Neve in the last podcast. Yes.
Why Boulder? Can you explain? Boulder became the hot school when everybody was looking. Why?
Yeah, it was incredibly random. I wasn't even going to apply. I applied to like 8 other schools, and all of them I mainly got into, and I was like, don't want to go. And I got into Boulder in this like weird program, didn't even get any money. Like it was very random. Not probably the best school for me to go to logistically, but I saw it and I was like, I have to go. I felt a pull, and I couldn't explain it. I couldn't tell you why, but I just knew. And it was really weird.
No, but it was a ton of your friends, and everybody seeed to think that was the
school. It never was. It never was the it school, which is so weird. Like it kind of was I don't know. It wasn't the most popular school, at least in New York. Wow. I don't know. It just happened.
And I know the skiing and the hiking and your degree also plays a role in that as well, where you wanted to go. And then we were wondering if the Deion Sanders effect had some sort of impact on people thinking suddenly that Boulder is cool because their football program has been in the national.
Probably, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I know you're excited about football season when you get there next fall.
Yeah, I was planning on joining the team.
Oh, she's gonna miss her first the fall football season.
Yeah,
first.
I
That
will.
sucks.
But you have our word that we will be showing up
I have
for a
3
football
years.
game. Yes, or 2. Why did you want to go so far away from mom? Like, I tried so hard to get
You
you
did.
to stay on the East Coast. I even was trying to pitch University of Georgia, where a family is, and you wanted nothing to do with it. You only applied to one school on the East Coast.
Yeah, and your other daughter is like 2 train stops away. You can't- she's
If
probably at the
that,
house
not
now.
even.
If that, she was, she never left, and she probably never will.
Yeah. Well, it had nothing to do with you, obviously. I don't know. I wanted to change. I felt like it was just right for me. There wasn't really that much behind it, but I was kind of like, why not? I know I want to live in New York when I'm older, in my 20s, so it's like, why not change it up for 4 years?
Wait, but specifically, you didn't. I'm not getting away from mom, but you wanted to get kind of away from New York and the Northeast. That was a part of it. Distance from this place. Oh wow.
And that's bold because you want to see something else. You want to see something new. And for those of us who weren't raised in New York, I always appreciate people who do have the wherewithal to experience other parts of either this country or the world, because New York is truly a bubble. And when you meet folks,
really
we know a
is.
lot of them who were born and raised here and never left, there is a mindset. And so I do think it's cool just because we've had the experience of seeing how other people do things. And New York is very much different than the rest of the country for sure. And it was interesting because I looked it up because I just thought, wow, I was upset that you were going so far away, but I'm happy that you're going to where you want to go. But do you know that only 15.5% of freshmen attend schools more than 500 miles away? So, wow, lucky me. I got one in the 15%.
What was the mileage? How many miles?
So only 15% of freshmen go 500 miles or more away from their home. 52% of students don't go more than 100 miles from home. I think I went about 40 miles from home, and that's more typical. How about you? How far? You weren't very far, were you?
Across the state. I don't know the mileage, but yeah.
We stayed
not
in
quite-
state.
Stayed in state.
For very much. Do you think you're going to be homesick?
I think a little bit, yes. But I also, you didn't have phones or FaceTime.
That's
and so
true.
There's a
Very good
big
point.
difference. As to where, like, I can see your faces, I can see our dog's face.
I'm Angie Martinez. Check out my podcast where I talk to some of the biggest athletes, musicians, actors in the world. We go beyond the headlines and the sound bites to have real conversations about real life, death, love, and everything in between.
This life right here, just finding myself, just relaxation, this not feeling stressed, this not feeling pressed. This is what I'm most proud of. I'm proud of Mary because I've been through hell and some horrible things. That feeling that I had of inadequacy is gone.
You're going to die being you. So you got to constantly work on who you are to make sure that the stars align correctly.
Life ain't easy and it's getting harder and harder. So if you have a story to tell, if you've come through some trials, you need to share it because you're going to inspire someone. You're going to give somebody the motivation to not give up, to not quit.
Listen to Angie Martinez IRL on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
New from Embedded. Who gets to compete as a woman? This question came up in ugly form at the Paris Olympics. But it's not new.
If she runs like a man and talks like a man, is she a man?
Hear about the long history of sex testing women athletes on Tested, a new series from CBC and NPR's Embedded podcast. Listen to all episodes on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Who or what will you miss the most?
Oh, I don't know.
I was thinking she was going to say Brody, the dog. Our dog.
Dog over her mom.
Well, I mean, just be honest. You can say. And your sister too.
And her.
Yeah. Is there something about New York that you will miss? Forget the people the most.
I'd say walking on my own. I feel like I'm not going to be doing a lot of that. Even in Spain, I think it's going to be like walking in groups to classes just because I think they're probably pretty protective of these 18-year-olds just being dropped off in Europe. So I think that sense of freedom.
You're going to miss your alone time.
Yes.
You like alone time.
I do like alone time.
Man.
I sent TJ a picture. He's like, what's Annalise doing? And I sent him a picture of your door closed. I said, per usual, she's in her room. I thought you might say Asuka Sushi.
Oh, I do love Asuka. I'm going to miss like Chipotle, Chick-fil-A, Cane's, all the good ones.
How about this? What is the thing you think will be maybe even a date? I don't know how you're going to set up your room and everything when you get over there, but what's the thing you think you would see in your room often or that will remind you of home and make you a little sad?
Well, I'm bringing a bulletin board. I don't really have a lot of photos printed out. I brought really strange photos. Like I don't even know if it's going to remind me of good times, because I don't have any printed.
We can stop by Dwayne Reed
That's a
tomorrow
good
and
idea.
print some photos
I
out
like
for
that
you.
one. Yeah.
Hey, what photos have you packed?
I don't. They're like really random, very strange.
I gave you a photo of us to take with you.
Yes, I have that.
You have the one.
I do have that, and I have a few like random decor that I took off my walls to bring. I don't know.
Wait, are you going to bring your baby blanket? Here's a little fun fact about Annalise. She never goes anywhere without her Gigi overnight typically. I mean, I think you've done some sleepovers without it recently.
I didn't bring it.
No.
I don't bring it that often.
But what kind of shape is it in, and are you bringing it?
It almost looks like a sleeping bag. I wonder if people can relate to that. I used to sleep in it.
It's
'Cause it
very
rips
small,
down.
too. It's very
It's
small.
incredibly small.
Wait a minute. I haven't seen
So,
this.
so
I don't really bring it that many places.
Oh, it's in her room. Trust me. Here's the funny
It's
thing
there.
about she actually had an original beautiful baby blanket with her name embroidered. I think one of my friends gave it to you from Pottery Barn Kids or something. And then you got car sick and we had to throw the blanket out. And in desperation, because you were like, Gigi, my Gigi. That's what you called it. We had to stop by a Kohl's and get a random, just pink and white with clouds on it.
Yep.
And that is still
Stuck ever
the
since.
blanket you have
You
to
called
this
it
day.
a what? A G what?
GG.
Why is it Gigi?
No idea. I think Ava made it up. I don't know.
That's on brand.
Yeah.
So many parents are dealing with this, and if they haven't already, they will soon enough. This is the day that so many of us dread, and then we don't know what to do because, yes, we're trying to give you your freedom and let you have your independence. But I have some questions for you, like genuine questions about what you want, what you need from me while you're at school. How often should I check in with you?
Rose.
I think parents want to know what the right call is.
But we won't know, will we? Until she gets there. She might miss Mama.
Well,
she might want to give Mama some space.
She can always call me.
She can always
My question is, you can always text me. You can always call me. You know that. How often should I be texting you? Daily, weekly?
Not daily.
Okay. All
Not
right.
daily.
Once, twice a week? Three
Twice
times a week?
Twice a week.
Twice a week. Okay.
That's fair.
I wish you would have asked me these questions.
No, you
when we were
you don't.
dating.
What? No, the next one is, how should I check in? FaceTime, text,
Not
or a
FaceTime.
call? So a text, is it okay to FaceTime?
Yeah, text me first.
Text you
You
first.
never know what I'm going to be doing. There's also a time difference.
Oh, yeah, that's
which
true.
will-
That sounded a little ominous. You never know what I'm going to be doing. What the what are your plans, Annalise?
Still, I don't know.
All right. Okay, twice a week, and I text you first. Okay, I can handle that. And then you can call me anytime.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's probably a general.
that's fair.
I think that's a good thing to do. Okay, and have people been giving you advice, like telling you what you can expect or what you should do? Like, and if so, what's the best advice you've received?
I honestly have not. I haven't really received advice from a lot of college students, more like adults. Best advice I've received. Definitely to not overthink it too much. I feel like I've been thinking about it a lot, not in a good way. I think I just kind of need to show up, see how it is, and figure it out. I feel like that's like our life motto ever since we were kids. Like, you'll get there, you'll figure it out. And I think that's how I'm gonna do it. It's a perfect way to go for me.
Robes, you have any concerns about her readiness? I say that in that a lot of parents might understand this, that I actually didn't fly for the first time until I was a senior in college.
Yeah.
And you have kids who have traveled all over the world and by themselves
Yeah.
in a lot of situations. So you might not have the readiness issue, but do you have any
So yes, and I do think that is something to point out. I kind of always made it a point to. I didn't spoil my kids with things. You guys didn't have a lot of material things. I wasn't buying you lots of clothes or any of those things. But what I did do is I went hard on the experience, and and you all did a lot of travel on your own. You did service trips, and you went and without me, and for weeks at a time. So I do feel like you're good at that independence. You know how to navigate an airport. You even know how to navigate an international airport, which is cool. What I worry about is because you've had that experience that you think you know more than you do, and that's always my worry. That there's this elevated sense of I got this. I know this. Also, being a New Yorker, you're street savvy to an extent. However, you're in a foreign country. You don't fully speak the language. You are fairly proficient in Spanish, but it's this idea of not knowing what you don't know, and that's what always worries me.
Okay. So you're saying I can be cocky?
No, it's and that may sound like that to you. That's not what I meant. I meant that.
No, I know
That's
that.
what I heard, too.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, there's a sense, and it's not anything that you are doing wrong. It's just that you can't know what's out there. You can't know what could be out there. So I'm always about. I don't want you to be alone. I always want you to have a buddy. Those are the things. I worry about your safety more than anything.
Of course.
Well, I will have a buddy. That's why I said I was going to miss being alone. Yeah, I don't want to put myself in a situation where I wouldn't want to be. Doesn't sound like fun. So, I mean, I'm going to try my best. I mean, I will say your point goes both ways. So, like, I do know what's out there, but I also could be too smart about that. So, yes, I will keep an extra eye out. Be aware.
I never got that sense in all the time that she was ever had the feeling of, oh, I got that. Are you just worried about it, or you see something?
Oh, no, I'm just worried about it. I don't.
Right.
You're not
She's
like
not
that at all.
She's not that one.
But she is the one that people, even her older sister, would lean on for navigation, logistics. Who has the tickets? What gate are we at? You have always been that person who has all of that together. Yes. And that is, I do know that you're very good with that. So I do appreciate that. And that'll take you a long way when you're. People probably will be leaning on you. Yeah.
Maybe except for the time I forgot my passport at home. And we had to drive all the way back, and we had to switch our flights. Remember that?
Oh, how could I forget? Yes,
Germany,
and
right?
yep,
Oh
and you
God.
ended up right next to the bathrooms at the back of the plane. That was great. Yeah,
it was pretty rough. The next day,
Oh my
I told
goodness.
my tip was, I don't know if y'all did it that morning, but my tip to folks who are flying internationally, I have literally done this the night before. I will take my physical passport and sit it at the front door to where you can't open it. It's impossible to forget it. You can do anything as long as you have your passport.
That's true. You need your passport, and you need some form of financial support.
Apple Pay. We're good.
But short of that,
Very good.
I know that this has been a really tough 2 years, and you have come a long way, and I've been so proud of you and impressed by you and how you've handled it all. You've been by my side through the whole thing. It was you and me the last 2 years going through a lot of this together. Ava was with us too, but she was in her own place in NYU, so it was a little bit of a distance from some of what we went through. Are there any lessons that you learned that you will take with you to college, what you've experienced these past 2 years? Because it's probably much different than most people your age.
I would definitely say not to dwell on the past. That would be my big thing. Things happen for a reason and might not be for a good reason, but eventually it all works out. And I think that also really applies to college. There's so many things that's going to happen to me, and I just kind of have to keep going.
Yeah, you have to let go of control because you never really had it anyway.
Yeah.
And then when you learn that, you're like, okay, now what do I do with this? I have to kind of surrender, right?
Be myself and keep going. That's
know who you are, and tomorrow's a new day.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I love that. That's called resilience. and that's I mean, those are hard lessons to learn, but they're ones you'll never forget.
Yeah.
Tell me about your classes. You said you got to pick your own classes. I think I know what they are, but why don't you tell us what the classes are?
I have an intro to psych, which I've never done. That's not my intended major either, but I think that would be interesting. I have a business and entrepreneurship class, which I want to major in marketing, so that should help. I have a writing seminar, an intermediate Spanish 1, which is like the second best Spanish class, which I'm quite worried about. I hope that goes well. And I don't know what my last one is. I completely forgot.
You're proficient? Is it fair to say you're proficient in Spanish?
I understand better than I can speak it.
Okay. Is there will you have the option? I don't think I've asked you this. Do you have the option to extend your studies in Spain?
I could, yeah.
But
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, what happens over there?
Yeah, what happens over there stays over there.
Oh, Lord.
I haven't even gone.
Oh, my goodness. And so we actually, this I think helped a lot. I was impressed because when we went to college, unless you had a roommate or someone who you were bringing with you or you could connect with from your high school going to college, which is what I did, it was the luck of the draw. Whatever roommate you got. But social media, as much as we like to bash it, this has been really remarkable to see this process where you get to meet all the kids and actually kind of get to know each other online before you ever decide who you're going to Spain with, right? Or who you're rooming with.
It's very interesting. Almost every single person I know who are going to all different schools have this like group chat. Somehow everyone just finds each other. I got added to it randomly. I don't know how it was made. I don't know how you found each other or how got their Snapchats, but there's a huge group chat, and then you go out to dinner, and like everyone meets each other, and it's just really random. Just like 30 girls in this group. It's so weird. I think it's really strange, but I will say it has made my process easier. I have a roommate. I have a few people I know going in. I mean, I've met her twice, but I haven't met the other people yet. So, but I will say social media is. It's great.
That takes a lot of the stress away when you've already
I would have stayed closer if I hadn't had that because I would have been nervous and worried.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Actually.
Or you would have made sure that you went somewhere where you knew someone was going, where your friend was going.
Yes.
I mean, that's so much of it because it's all so new and different. So not to have anyone you know,
something. Yeah.
That's very scary. So we got to meet your roommate Jenna and her mom, and that every time you've met her twice now.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes you feel a lot calmer and better. Like, I know who I'm going with. You're actually going on the same plane together.
Mm-hmm. We plan that out. Yeah.
And I'm not going with you. I offered to. What happened?
But no other moms are going. I don't think anyone's family is going. It's because it's such a quick semester. It's only 3.5 months. It's very quick. If it was a full year, yes. But for Boulder, you'll move me in.
For Boulder, I'll help move you in. So I'll go through the process again.
Yes.
All over again.
And then next year you can do the same thing.
It won't. I'll be good by then. I will have gotten used to it. But I think it'll be interesting to kind of just say bye. And that's a weird thing, seeing other people's parents pack up the door. Even with Ava going to NYU, I still drove a car over and helped her up in her dorm. So to not help you set up your room feels very, very strange to me.
It began as a
We got to do this twice.
Yeah.
By the time you get over the empty nest syndrome, once she's settled in Spain, and you're good, and you find your joy and your freedom, she's going to come back home.
Then I come back for Christmas.
And you're going to squeeze your baby really tight. And then you got to take her back out to Boulder.
Yep.
And then do the whole thing again?
I do.
I don't know if that...
That's tough. And and I was also thinking, like, we've had to get all this stuff that you're going to be getting in Spain. I'm like, what do you do? Just like toss that? It's a whole new thing. There's no
I don't even know if I
to
can bring
drive
it back. Like,
great. Leave it for the next person. So they'll have to buy all new things as you go to Boulder, but it's fine. It's
a
process.
Go to Five Below if that's a thing there.
Five Below.
Grandma White.
That was your favorite store growing up, and I loved it too because everything was $5.
That's where I take my sisters now for their birthday, Christmas. I'm like, guys, Five Below trip. Let's go. And they're so excited.
Who else do you have? Isn't it more than Neve? Don't you have several people you know going to Boulder?
Yeah, they're not. I mean, not as close as I am with Neve, but yeah, I do know quite a few people. I'd say like 10, just from all parts of life, like those service trips you were talking about. 3 of those people who I met on one trip in 2022 are all going to Boulder. So random, so weird, and I haven't talked to them in like 2 years, and they're going there.
Wow. And again, the power of social media
world.
that you can stay connected and know that you all are going to go there.
Yeah.
What are you most looking forward to? Like when you get to Boulder?
I really want to hike.
That is so funny. Well,
yeah.
Over the skiing?
And
Hiking over skiing?
Oh, no. Skiing over
Skiing,
hiking.
okay.
Hiking's more accessible for me. Skiing means like I have to go and rent skis and do the whole thing. But yes.
it is funny. I mean, I will say this. I'll brag on you a little bit because you were just 12 years old when you summited Kilimanjaro. And it was remarkable because you were throwing up. I probably could have gotten maybe, I don't know. I was wondering if I was the worst parent in the world or this was a good motivating experience for you. But you struggled and you did it anyway. And there were a couple times where you're like, and you climbed Mount Baker, which is a glacier. You went up the Roman Wall. You said you couldn't do it. And the guy who actually had summited Everest said, "You're going up."
Oh,
and
yeah. He
you
dragged me basically.
But you walked. It was your feet that got you up. And I've seen you've done the Andes Mountains. You got up to like 15,000 feet there. So you hated it every step of the way. And you complained every step of the way, which I understand. You were a kid. So it's so funny. The kid who I did force you, I did push you, now says you like hiking. What was the change? Like, how did you go from hating it and not honestly like hating me for it and saying, now I hate hiking because you made me do it? What was the change where suddenly you're like, I like this. Well, I love it.
I think I secretly liked it all along. It's just you want to hate things that your mom makes you do. That's just a guarantee. I don't know. I being at the top is that's an unmatched feeling. So I kind of just relished in that. We also haven't hiked in a while.
Yeah.
And so I do kind of miss it because it really did take up a lot of our time. Like we would go upstate and we'd hike up, or we'd go up and down our driveway, the entire day with 40-pound backpacks.
Yes.
And
I sound like a horrible mother.
We did that every single weekend.
Because you had to train. There's no way you can
so
just
now
walk up.
It's weird to not have that because it was so...
It was a part of your life.
It really was. So I'm excited. And also Colorado, you can't not like hiking in those mountains. It's so pretty.
What age were you carrying the packs?
11.
11.
Yeah, 40-pound packs. Because to go up Mount Baker, to go up a glacier like that, and we actually camped on the glacier.
Is that? Oh yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
And we had crampons. And anyway, you have to carry. Basically, you have to carry
pickaxe.
You have to have a pickaxe. You have your crampons, but you also have to have clothing for any possible weather. When you're up that high on a mountain, when you're doing serious hiking, you have to have rain gear, warmth. You have to be able to have layers. There's just a lot of things you have to carry, and your own water. We actually drank the water from the glacier, but we had to carry MREs, ready to eat meals. What did I said it? I don't know if I said that. Meals ready to eat. Is that what it is? Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of things you have to carry. Now, we did take some things out of your pack and put it in ours to lighten your load, which I get. And then the nice thing is the final stretch up that Roman Wall, our guide let you leave the pack, which is almost never allowed. But I don't think. Yeah. He let at the very end. He let you leave your pack because it was
really rough.
It was rough. It was tough. But like you said, when you get to the top, it's an unmatched feeling, and the only reason why it's an unmatched feeling is because it was so hard.
Yeah.
If it was easy, I remember I told you guys this. I don't know if you appreciated it, but I wanted you to feel what it was like to get to the other side of pain, to get on the other side of pain.
Oh, yes, that was your favorite.
Because it's a euphemism for life. If you get through this really tough time, you don't think you can do it. You actually want to quit a million times. But when you keep pushing yourself and you get to the other side of it, you're like, you always end up saying it was worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was.
And now you're going to be hiking.
I can admit it.
I'm so excited to hear that. That is going to be an awesome thing to see you hiking and skiing. And I would say my biggest advice to you is to go to class. Don't skip class. Go to class. That's the plan? It should be more than a plan.
It's my life. No, I will. I promise.
Okay, that's good. And what you say you're getting a marketing degree, but what is it that you are hoping that you can do with your college degree?
No idea. I got nothing.
Honest answer.
That decision will be made throughout time.
That's very fair. That's
kind of want to be like Emily in Paris, if anyone's seen that show.
One of your favorites. And how you mean you want to live abroad and be in a marketing firm?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be abroad. Maybe there's like offices abroad and I can travel. But yeah. Something like that. I have no idea.
You get the reference, the Emily in Paris reference? Okay, not real. Okay. I'm not alone in the room. Okay.
Season 4 just dropped. Did you finish?
Okay.
I did.
You finished
It's only
it?
one part.
Oh, one part. Okay. We were actually all at TJ's. Wait, was that at TJ's birthday? Yeah, the first night when Emily in Paris dropped.
Oh, and
And I was like, I don't think we're going to watch that because half the room doesn't watch it, meaning TJ has no idea what the show even is.
I said, you could go do your thing. I said you could go ahead. I'm 4 seasons behind, apparently.
If you watched the first episode, you'd be like, nah.
Yeah, you would not like it.
Really?
No.
I like the
Just
thing.
doesn't seem like your speed.
The Italy thing.
at all.
Something in what was the Rome and the woman?
Oh,
the girl, what was
Under
name
the
of it?
Oh no, Under the Tuscan Sun. I used to.
Tuscan
No,
Sun.
when we were in Rome, we found a really
What was the
cheesy
name of
movie
that
called
movie?
Gelato.
Love and Gelato.
Love and Gelato. You know what?
I can handle
You know
Emily in
what?
Paris.
If you watched that and enjoyed it for whatever reason you enjoyed it, then you would enjoy Emily in
I
Paris.
love Love and Gelato.
I love a good cheesy movie.
Okay.
Or a TV show.
Cheesy
Lighthearted.
rom-com. Can you explain why you like rom-coms to TJ?
I don't know. I love the false perception of love. I think it's very unrealistic, but it's also so fun to watch.
Oh man.
Do you think it gives, and I'll just say specifically young women, a false expectation?
Yes, 100%.
Isn't that damaging?
It's so damaging. I mean, we grew up watching them. You loved them. We were, even like
That's
the Barbie movies and their love interest. I'm like, what's happening? It's not real, but it's my way to escape.
I'm not convinced. I've been saying this to her a lot recently. I'm not convinced you're her kid. Because y'all are so different.
We really are.
Even in the y'all both watch rom-coms, but for different reasons. You answer like deadpan. Yeah, it's a total load of crap. I enjoy it, but still, it gives a false impression. You all are so different. That I swear.
And what did I tell you when you questioned whether or not Annalise was actually mine from a DNA standpoint?
Wait, I don't know.
I told you that 23andMe has proved
yeah.
that she, in fact, is my child.
But even the fact that you have to turn to a DNA
23andMe.
test. Yeah.
Well, I just felt like that was irrefutable. I mean,
Yo,
if you really had questions, I can promise you, I can assure you, she is my child.
And then you and Ava are peas. They say y'all are
Literally.
exactly the same person.
They grew up in the same pod.
But who do I get along with better on a day-to-day basis?
Me.
You.
Fine.
Yeah.
Because when you're too much alike, you butt heads, and we
Yes.
complement each other. So
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
it's extra sad because you've just been like such an awesome. I don't want to call you a roommate because you're my daughter, but to live with just the two, like what a unique experience.
Yeah.
You can look at the bad and the negative with divorce and upheaval and all of that. That's not anything I would ever suggest or want for anyone or any family. However, we have had the unique experience of being able to just be the two of us. And we have always had so many people in our apartment and so many people different people living with us at different times.
Yeah.
And we've always had a lot of people. Even during the pandemic, we had a commune, basically.
Oh.
We had friends living with
yeah.
us. It was,
We had like 15 people up there.
we did.
But
And
it was
so
a bubble.
it was a bubble, but it was like 15 people. And so we're used to having just a loud crowd around us. And so
It was a big change though. For just us two.
it was. But I
I
think,
think
like
we made it work.
we did
We got
make it
into a groove.
we did.
Yeah.
And I think we've only had like 1 or 2 flare-ups ever, like in 18
Yeah, we
years.
really haven't.
And that I'm just appreciative of you have a very calm and cool, like you're the cool girl. Everybody wants you to be their friend. It's like TJ's the cool guy. Everybody wants him to like them. You have that same quality. Me, I'm like, please like me, which is annoying. And I get that. So we get along.
But we don't get it because we're just sitting back minding our own business.
Exactly.
And
We're
like,
just in the corner.
yeah, why are y'all trying to pull us into this? And we are absolutely. And I that's the thing about Annalise. There have been times we have a room full of people and I don't understand anything they're talking about. And I think it's ridiculous and silly and everybody's into it. And then I finally cut my eyes over to Annalise. She's got the same look on her face as I do. I say, okay, I found my tribe. We're good.
That's been me my whole life. It's like Ava and mom talking, and I'm like, just there,
Absolutely.
silent.
It's hard to get a word in edgewise, I will say.
Yeah.
And then add
Yeah.
my mom, Noni, to the mix.
Oh yeah. Will never speak again.
You and Pop, my dad, will just be like, I'll take it in, observe, listen,
Yes,
and
yes.
probably be the wiser for it because the less you talk,
Exactly.
the more you learn.
I'm Angie Martinez. Check out my podcast where I talk to some of the biggest athletes, musicians, actors in the world. We go beyond the headlines and the sound bites to have real conversations about real life, death, love, and everything in between.
This life right here, just finding myself, just relaxation, this not feeling stressed, this not feeling pressed. This is what I'm most proud of. I'm proud of Mary because I've been through hell and some horrible things. That feeling that I had of inadequacy is gone.
You're going to die being you. So you got to constantly work on who you are to make sure that the stars align correctly.
Life ain't easy and it's getting harder and harder. So if you have a story to tell, if you've come through some trials, you need to share it because you're going to inspire someone. You're going to give somebody the motivation to not give up, to not quit.
Listen to Angie Martinez IRL on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
New from Embedded. Who gets to compete as a woman? This question came up in ugly form at the Paris Olympics. But it's not new.
If she runs like a man and talks like a man, is she a man?
Hear about the long history of sex testing women athletes on Tested, a new series from CBC and NPR's Embedded podcast. Listen to all episodes on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
How often did you, Annalise, feel like it was funny at times, but that you all were roommates? Certainly more so in recent months as you got more freedom and you graduate.
Yeah.
But it's funny that I absolutely see you all texting or talking and say, hey, what are you doing tonight? What are you doing? Can I have the apartment? Well, we want the apartment. Like, you really do talk like
we do.
college
Yeah,
kids.
that's only been in recent months.
Yes,
I definitely think in the beginning, it was, what was I, like 16?
Yeah.
So I obviously had like strict curfew. It wasn't as much as like, well, we're so
I raised-
free, like I'm going wherever I want.
I raised you very strictly.
Yes,
in
so-
New York standards.
And now it's, I mean, what's the point? I'm leaving anyways. So it's kind of just.
I'm a big believer. This past year, I made a conscious effort to loosen the rope and to let you have more freedom. Just because when it happens drastically, and everyone has their own way of parenting, but when you go from being strict and curfews and do this, don't do this, and if you do this, you're going to be punished, and there's going to be consequences. I absolutely raised you like that up until this last year, and then I thought,
which I think is totally fair.
I just wanted it to be a little bit more of a transition and less of a jarring, completely opposite experience.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
And it's been fun because I trust you. I don't think you're not somebody who was sneaking around
I've never snuck out.
Yeah. So I felt more comfortable doing that.
You never
with
snuck
you.
out, but you didn't come back some nights. You were somewhere else, Annalise.
Yeah.
That was this year. Well, the
There
first
were
time you had no
plausible
curfew was
explanations.
your prom. I said,
Oh yes, I didn't even stay out that late that night.
and you
either.
didn't. When I told you
I
you
was
didn't have a
home.
curfew, you were like home at a fairly decent hour. I was like, that's funny. Isn't that how it always works?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
It's more fun when you can sneak,
Exactly.
right? But no, it's been a really good year, and I've been, like I said, so impressed with how you've handled everything. I mean, paparazzi, you actually even handled all that so well. That upset me more than anything. That and at the time you were under 18 and your picture was being taken without you wanting it to, and you handled that with grace.
They
Because
got my
it's-
bad side.
Yeah. What did you say one time? You're like, ooh, they got me good.
Well, we were in a fight. Do you remember that?
We
We were bickering home from the gym.
I
and
was
I was so mad, and you were so mad at me. And there's a picture. I'm like, I have like this disgusted look on my face, and you look like there's steam coming out of your ears. And they got us right when we were doing that. It was just
either you said something or did something, and I was like, that is inappropriate, Annalise. So I was giving you a stern talking to.
Did
and
the headline allude to or try to make fun of the fact that y'all were?
No, I don't think
okay.
they caught on that we were fighting, but
We knew we
it.
were.
And it was-
And yes, and you're like, they got me good.
yeah, they've gotten me good a few times.
And then you've taken pictures and made fun of me, like the
Oh,
one on the
yes.
city bike. You had fun
one's-
with that.
I love that one.
We ended up trying to treat a lot
you
of
have
this.
to make light of the situation.
Yes.
It's very strange. So
And we've tried to treat a lot of this with humor and humility. And I think, as hard as it's been, like those are lessons you'll take with you. When things get tough, sometimes humor is the only thing that gets you through.
We love dark humor.
You're great at dark humor.
Yeah, it's my forte.
So does this one over
Right.
here. Another thing you have in common, that dark humor. That what did I say? Devilish.
Devilish.
Devilish
the
laugh,
birthday
or
card.
something like
Devilish
that.
sense of
Devilish.
humor.
Yep. You
What
have
you
the
call
same
it.
thing.
It's my favorite thing to do. It always makes people laugh, and I love making people laugh. that's the goal.
From the time you were a little, like you were a 1-year-old, little bobblehead, could barely walk, you were making us laugh. But that's you have always been the comedic relief in the family, which has been fun.
I actually just got a fortune cookie, and my fortune was like, you make the room like happy with your comedy or something.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow.
And that has absolutely been the truth. Ava likes to tell you all the time that you were an accident.
Yes.
Or a mistake.
No,
She goes
adopted. She loves to. Mistake is her favorite thing, though.
I think it's mistake.
Not
yes.
accident.
You weren't planned is the point. But I said, yeah, but she knows this. This has been fully discussed.
It was true.
Fully
It is
discussed.
true.
But I was one and done. But you know what I said? You were like the greatest joy that I ever got that I wasn't choosing or that I didn't think I wanted. Like you were something that came into my life that was just turned into the most beautiful thing. Have you ever had something where you didn't intend to have it or you didn't want it necessarily and then you got it and you're like, this is the best thing that ever happened?
Yes.
Okay. That's how I would. Annie was this sweet little thing, and I called her my beanbag. And I think this is what makes me cry, because you never wanted to leave my side when you were little. And Ava was the opposite. Hilariously, she was always running away and saying, "See you later, bye." And now you kind of have done a reversal.
Yeah, we totally.
Ava won't leave my side, and you're like, "See ya."
Bye.
You declared early on, maybe even middle school, I am not going to college in New York. Like you knew.
I knew. Yeah, that
You
was
knew.
not because I've lived here. I don't know. I couldn't keep doing it.
Well, I love that you're sprouting your wings, and I will be okay. I will be okay. And I never want you to worry about that or make a decision based on that, because I love seeing you do your thing. And I love that you're different than me. And I love that you're different than your sister. I love that you have your own way of operating and going through life. It's fun to watch you, and I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you.
Is there anything, Robes, you're looking forward to? Like, is there anything, not as a joke here, but
Yeah.
a lot of parents
yeah.
who do their kid, there's even this thing, was it empty nest divorce, right? Once you have time
Yeah.
to now focus on each other, you realize, oh, we don't like each other.
Yep.
There's the thing, but a lot of folks start to rediscover themselves and start doing. But is there anything you are looking forward to possibly?
Well, the thing is, there's been so much change, and my focus and your focus has been on making sure our kids are okay. Now that I've got the two girls like out in the world, living their lives, and I don't know how much I've focused on me or on me and on us. Of course, there's been an element to that, but it's always been in the background of them, and so. They say, to your point, that either a lot of times what happens in a marriage or any relationship is either when you have that now quality time where you're not distracted with kids, you either find this new bond and you grow closer and you have this, like I think that happened for my parents big time, like significantly, which was cool to see. Or you realize that you don't need to be together and you need to find something else or someone else. So it's a time to really reevaluate everything. So
wow. So we're this is going to be the
no,
test here.
but you know what's interesting too is like getting in a relationship later in life when you already have kids, you never got that honeymoon period where you just got to be the two of you, right? And I know we have Sabine.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you are always focused. The kids are always a major part of any relationship you have. So this will be kind of the first time where I can focus, lucky you, on you and us in a way that
How's that going to go, Annalise?
I haven't been able to do before.
I'm scared.
It'll be too much.
But it's true. Every single morning, I think you know this, Annalise, our day is structured. We can't do anything until we hear from you and Sabine about what the day, and then we fill it in around you guys. So to think now we only have Sabine's schedule, right, to consider, and we usually can't fill out our schedule, Annalise, until later because certainly
I never make up my mind.
But
about
no,
what
and
I'm
you don't wake up
doing.
till 11.
yeah, Yes, you don't wake up until 11 o'clock.
No, I wake up at like 10. That is a normal time to wake up.
But
You guys are just crazy.
But you don't come out and say hello until 11.
Yeah, I have to process me waking up.
That is where the two of you differ significantly.
Maybe when I'm older, I could see myself being an early bird, but
but how much have I annoyed you in the last year and a half every day asking you, what are you doing? What are your plans?
Yes.
And you're like,
and
I
you've
don't
never
know.
acted like this. You've never like said that before because it was always like, oh, you went to work, I went to school. We kind of like met at home,
But now I have a lot more time and I'm
Yeah.
trying to incorporate you. And I know you're leaving soon, so I was trying to incorporate you
Yeah.
in as much as possible. And you were like, now you're suffocating me.
Yeah, I'm like, Mom, I've never had someone care this much about my schedule.
Can you please go back to what you used to do in the morning and I didn't have to see you? I could go to work.
How many times did you say, babe, just give her a beat. Don't worry about it. Don't because she's stressing you out about your schedule because she's trying to make some plan.
I'm like, I don't
with
know.
Me. Just let it go.
Thank you.
What are we gonna do now? There's no. Wow.
I
Go
know.
text Ava.
There will be a transition, and
Yeah.
I think we will all find some freedom that we didn't have before, and we can still have a beautiful, loving relationship. But it's gonna change a little bit, and it's been changing this past year.
Yeah.
You shift. I'll always be your mom, but I get to be a little bit more of your friend now, and that's kind of fun. I can take my hands off the wheel a little bit. And little kids, little problems, big kids, big problems. I always wanted to do the hard work early. Yeah. Not that you weren't going to make mistakes. I hope you make plenty of them. I just hope you make them safely. But that's how you learn. But I do feel like it's nice to know that I put in the work early, and now you get to lead the way and make your own path. And I feel good about it.
I feel good about it. Definitely.
Well, I can't wait. I can't wait to watch you fly. Oh, wait, I had these cute little quotes I wanted to leave. Anyone who's going through this, sometimes I like quotes. TJ, you like quotes.
I do, but we're both bracing for it. Like,
oh no, so these were the two quotes I really liked, and I wanted to share these with any other parent out there who's going through this. These made me.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, Emily.
The first one's from the Dalai Lama.
Of course it is.
Give the ones you love wings to fly, roots to come back, and reasons to stay. I thought that was very sweet.
Preach.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that tattooed on me.
Aw,
as soon as I can.
I love that I had that impact on you. Or the
your
Dalai Lama
handwriting.
did. What'd you say?
In your handwriting.
Oh, wow. That's not cheesy. This one, however, has some humor to it. And this made me laugh. And I think sometimes, as we talked about, that's what we need in these moments when we're a little sad. However painful the process of leaving home for parents and for children, the really frightening thing for both would be the prospect of the child never leaving home.
That was kind of funny.
This is what is supposed to happen for all parties involved. Mm-hmm. And I remember when I first held you, I told myself my job is to make sure this little girl can live on her own and be happy with herself and move on from being under my wing. That my job is to make her independent of me and to be successfully independent and happy. And so I remember reminding myself of that along the way, that was my number one job, to guide you to be your own person.
Mm-hmm. Think about how annoyed you would be if I stayed at home the entire life.
I mean, if you stayed for the next couple of years, I don't think she'd be upset. I think she'd be excited about that. I think you would.
Yeah. Well, I still have winter break and summer break. Although watch,
Those
you'll
are
start
long.
becoming like an instructor and staying there, and I could see you doing all sorts of stuff. But it's your life to live, and I'll be okay. And I can't.
You'll make it work.
I'll be your cheerleader back home, no matter what. I love you.
Love you.
I love you guys too. All right, folks. We appreciate y'all listening as always, folks. If you're out there, if you're about to send your kid off, you're gonna be okay. The 3 steps they say of this, what is it? The empty nest syndrome. It's grief, relief, and then joy. It's coming. Everybody's going to be fine. It's tougher on some than others, but a lot of folks go through it and they make it through just fine, and some come out really well on the other side. So, Robes, you're going to be okay. I'll be here with you through this one, and then the next time we have to do it with her in December, right? Okay. I'll be here with you now. Let's go get that contractor and start working on her room.